In 1997, I had just left home in a half, and I was now living in South B with my friends. And I was living in a house that was owned by my boss, the guy I was working with. The guy I was working with told me, Ted, listen, I don't have a position for you, but what we shall do for you is that we shall give you 6,000 shillings per month. And I will also give you a place to stay, but you will pay for the house. And the house is 6,000 shillings. So in essence, I was living in South B in this nice SQ. And with that, I picked up very quickly a couple of other things that I could do. Number one, I started being a DJ. I started emceeing. I might sound old, but we didn't have mobile phones. Okay, it was in the 50s. I'm talking about just the other day. But mobile phones were a preserve of very few people. So we had pagers. So I receive a message, and it says, what you asked for, please call this number. And I go to the shop. We have something called Simu ya Jamii. We go there, we pay, and I call. And someone says, listen, did you apply for some job? I said, yes. They tell me, okay, come and see us in Westlands. I go to this building. It's just been built. It's on the second floor, and it's just an empty hall. And they tell me, listen, we are starting a radio station, and we want a presenter. Are you able to do this thing? So as I'm there, they tell me, okay, what can you do? And what I'd done, I'd carried a stack of photographs to show those guys. And I told the guy, listen, this is me in this event emceeing. This is me happening here. This is me DJing in this event. This is me in Nakuru. This is me everywhere. And the guy told me, okay, I think we like what you have. We would love to employ you. And they tell us we're starting a station called KISS, and we want you to be our first presenters. Now, I'm just a boy from Eastlands. I don't know these things. So I'm earning how much? So they say, we want to discuss with you about salaries. So they tell me, come and sit. They ask me, how much money do you want to get paid? And I say, I get 6 G's there. If I gonga these guys, like, I totally gonga them and I'm still happy, I tell the guy 20,000. And he looks at me and says, no. I'm like, man, I blew it. These guys are not going to give me the job. And I'm just about to tell the guy, listen, by the way, I'm also an MC. I can MC for that money. I can do. The guy tells me, no. We cannot pay you that. We'll pay you 68,000. I said, these guys, I think these guys are Illuminati or something. There's something these guys want from me and they are not saying. Anyway, fast forward, we start the station. Our first song which we played, I remember very well, was the KISS song. If you Google it, it will come out. That was the first song we ever played. Fast forward, 2 years later, we're working there and we're trying to get the station right and everything. And one day, I'm called to the boardroom. Many things had happened. And this gentleman, who I respect with my whole heart, his name is Patrick Kwaka, sits there, and there was a program controller, and called Vaughn. He says, by the way, Ted, there is greatness in you. And I see you being a big figure, not only in the entertainment industry, but also in the scene in Kenya. But I don't have time to wait for you to become big. I have to let you go. Half of my mind was still stuck at being great. So I said, thank you very much. I was happy. And they told me, we'll send your money. And I picked up my stuff. And as I was walking down St. Mark's, headed to the bus stop, I said, wait a minute. I just got fired. Now, I'm used to disappointment. I grew up in Eastlands. I'm hardened by life. Now, my father came to Nairobi, and my father used to live with us in a friend's kitchen. The friends would come and cook meat in their bedroom, get out, and they would eat whatever it is that they had. I'm hardened. I used to walk 5 kilometers all the way to school. I'm used to disappointment. I never got birthday gifts, but many things have happened, and I know that I am a miracle guy. I know it. And whatever happens against any odds, I know I am made of miracles. Fast forward, politics comes into play, and I'm called. Now, my tribe is different from the tribe of the people I was working for. But I'm told, you know what, we want you to come and work for us. And there I give my best. Let me tell you guys, I am the best MC in Kenya, in Africa. There is nobody. I don't care what you think. I am the best. I will obliterate any stage that I'm put on. And I don't mean to be proud, but you know what we say? If somebody ever starts with, I don't mean to be proud. And things have happened, and I joined this group, and we are campaigning, and we're doing all these things. And finally, one day I'm told, by the way, we want you to come and work with us. And I finally get to work at the highest office in the land. For many years, 10 years. And guys, I have seen things. I've dined with kings. I have seen everything I need to see. And towards the end, one day, I love shoes, by the way. You can tell these are new, just for Engage. As I'm driving home, I was actually buying sneakers. So I'm driving and I'm with this guy. And as we're driving into my house, my phone rings 5, 7 times. I don't pick it up. When I get to the house, I call back the first one as I'm trying the shoes. And I turn on the speaker. And the voice says, Ted, the boss is trying to call you. How come you're not picking up? Now, where I worked, there were many people called boss. So I didn't know who exactly. So I say, can I call them back? Says, no. He's calling you right now. And the phone rings. And I pick it up. I'm still trying on my shoes. And he says, in his usual way, and I said, oh my goodness, it is the president. I was shocked, but think about the guy selling to me the shoes. So the president says, he says, Ted, nimejaribu kupata, I can't. So we make small talk, and I'm trying really to understand why is he calling me. And then he tells me, Ted, now I want to send you to LA. Don, LA can be Langata. Because never in my wildest dreams have I even thought that I would be sent to LA. So I asked him, what do you mean LA? And I'm trying to be inquisitive at the same time, ask the right question, but also not look stupid that now he says, I don't want to send you anymore. So he says, I want to send you to be our Consul General in Los Angeles. I want to be honest, I had to go back and Google, what does a Consul General do? Because I'd never thought about it. If you told me an MP, an MC, I knew. And it starts off a whole thing. And he says, Ted, don't tell anybody. Let me be the one to tell the world. I had a problem. The problem was I was dating this girl. She was just about to get this big corporate job. And now I'm trying to explain to her why she can't take that job. And she asks me, who called? The president. She says, okay, you work for him, no problem. She asked me, do you have a letter? Enter problem number 2. How, I know his voice, how would I have asked him, write for me a note, just to show Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you there were numerous times, and Your Excellency, if you're ever watching this, there are times I passed in front of you daily, hoping you'd call me and go like, do you remember that thing? We're still on. And that also is the problem we have with life. That God gives you a dream. It's not a conference call. It's an individual call. But you want to explain to people who are not on the call how big your dream is. Because God did not write for you a note. So here I am, being sent to LA, no degree, nothing. I am just a boy from Eastlands, and nobody believes me. In fact, I love my mom. When I told my mom told me, my mom is a typical Luya mom. She told me, Ted, hii mambo ya kuleta jina ya president kwa vitu, uache. Itakuharibia. Ladies and gentlemen, it took 1 year before the announcement came. And it didn't even come that way. I would pass in front of Mr. Uhuru Muigai daily. And I'd pass in a way that says, I even started wearing a flag of the United States of America, just to remind him. And all along, guys, in my heart, I started asking myself, did I really hear the right thing? Maybe it's my mind playing with me. But let's move on. Did I go to the States? Yes. So one day, it's put out in the papers, these are the new consul generals, and I start receiving phone calls from all and sundry. In fact, my biggest beef with Engage is they never called me when I was a consul general. I have seen people on that show who I can outspeak. No, I'm just like, I'm being dramatic. Ladies and gentlemen, the day comes and it's now time for us to leave. I'd done a wedding and I have my wife, and now we're going to the airport. And I am so scared, but at the same time, I don't want to overreact. And I want to introduce a new word to you called false humility. And it's a place you find yourself where you have been elevated, but you are pretending that you do not know or don't understand that has been given to you. I'm at the airport, there is a clear line for diplomats and United Nations staff. But I still want to wait on this side, just in case I step in and they tell me. And I said, hey, I will not talk until I reach the States. We get into the plane, and I'm wondering, do I go that side by the way is third class, or this side, it's first class. It's nice, guys, work hard, it's nice. I walk in, and the lady says, give me your ticket, and I show her the ticket, and in my heart I'm saying, you know, Ted, Kenya watu ni wabaya. Somebody might just jump out and go like, Ted, you don't know jokes. We land in America, and I Google and I research about this particular job. What does it need? What does it take? And deep inside me, I feel I am not enough. Like the response, I can't, maybe they should have gotten somebody else. And as I'm talking, one of my friends tells me, Ted, you have already been fashioned by God for this job. And he tells me, Ted, you already have the charisma and God has already made you enough for this job. So I get out. I say, what do I have in my? And I get out there. And I'm meeting the community, and I'm going to funerals, and I'm going to churches every Sunday, and I'm going to rorashos, iteras, and everything. And I discover that the reason we have been struggling as a nation in the diaspora is very simple. That maybe the people we give these jobs are not patriots. They don't love the country enough for them to go beyond what they need to do. So I'm inside the clubs with the young people. I'm in the church on Sunday with the old people. I'm in a meeting and I'm everywhere. And I'm there and I'm serving the community. And the community said, we love you, Ted, we love you. And they tell me, Ted, no, come to my house. Come here, come there. And they're calling me for events everywhere. And I'm going there and I'm lifting up the flag high. I'm making video clips. And the Kenya team is coming to play the sevens. Hicks, I see you. And we're inside there and we're supporting the Kenya team. And I'm the ambassador and I'm running all over the field. And they're asking, who is that? That's our ambassador. And then there's a court case. A Kenyan is in court. I fly all the way and I sit in the courtroom alone. Why? Because I want that Kenyan to look behind and see his country standing with him. We are having this issue and we have fought. So I am sleeping in a separate room and she's sleeping in a separate room. No borrowing. If you know, you know. So what happens? So what happens is I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to pray. A discipline I have, I just say, you know what? I have to give to God if I want to receive, and it's a quiet time. So I say, let me check my phone to just see what's happening. And as I open my phone, I see a whole line of messages written, ele, 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 ele. And I say, what? I'm in LA. Why would it be hot on a chat from Kenya? And I open the chat. And my heart sinks to the floor. It says, the president has appointed a new consul general to Los Angeles. I wonder, do I even go ahead to pray or do I just leave it because, and I say, okay. So I walk out to the room and I knock the other side and I go like, I want to show you something. Of course, she opens a jar and that time she's dressed like a wrestling person, you know, like with overalls and everything, just in case you are coming to ask for anything. And I tell her, I want you to read this. And she tells me, she closes the door. So I go back to my room, I turn on music and shame. 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 You thought that you had left and elevated, but now you're back down. And in my head, I'm wondering, all those guys who sit in Nairobi and just think about, why did this guy get this far? And I think about my family. I think about the pride that had brought a few people around me. And my wife walks in and she tells me, you know what, Ted? Let's pray. We knelt down and we prayed and we thanked God and we went on. I started packing, coming back 3 weeks before I got here. We take the flight. Hopefully that's not the last time I'll be on a first-class flight. And we land at JKIA. My family is dramatic, by the way. And from the luggage area, I can hear a noise I know very well. We are Louis, as I told you. My family has mobilized a whole gang of Isukuti players. So at the airport, we're just tiki, 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 tiki. We're dancing, but my heart is done. What will I tell people? Will I get another job? Will I get employed? Will I? And all these questions come up, including the thought that everybody had that you are an ambassador, you have dollars. And I come back and I'm lost for a few months because now I don't know. You can only watch TV as much. You can only sleep as much. I'm a man, a responsible man. I wake up in the morning to work for my family, but I don't have a job. Everybody I call either drops the usual story, we can't afford you. And sometimes I want to tell them, actually you can. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you do when the odds are stacked up against you? Are you able to rise up against the odds? Against everything that is happening, are you able? Do you have the fortitude? Do you have the strength? Do you have the thought deep in your heart to rise up? Ladies and gentlemen, Psalms 26 says, "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want." It also says that goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. It says that God rejoices when he sees his people prosper. And my prayer has always been, God, if you really say that no eye has seen and no ear has heard what you have prepared for me, God, use me as an example of no eye has seen and no ear has heard. Thank you so much.